Okay, with an understanding of working memory and how it's linked up to the visual system, including visual imagery, let's try to explain a common phenomenon whereby certain expectations can influence how we respond to things in the world. And you may have had this happen. Perhaps you're in the shower and you're expecting a phone call, and you think you hear the phone ring, you turn off the water, and the phone is not ringing. Well, that would be an example, though, when the expectation of a phone call somehow seems to make you more likely to respond to some stimulus in the world and perceive it as a phone call, or at least respond to it as if it's a phone call. So, how to explain that? So, let's use this diagram. Let's imagine we're taking a hike and somebody informs us that there are snakes on this trail, right? Now, that might be a dark thought for you, right? So snakes could be extremely frightening to you with all kinds of emotional intensity coming with it. And that could be a big problem for you. So let's imagine that idea that snakes are on the trail is persistently in your working memory. Now, we've seen that the working memory system does have connections, right, to the long-term memory system. And so what psychologists argue is that the concept of snake now, right, in your working memory is going to be activating the snake memory, right, the visual image of a snake. In fact, when somebody told you this, you might have reactivated the image of a snake and actually saw a snake in your mind's eye, in your working memory. But even if you didn't, the idea is that the memory of a snake will be subtly activated. It'll be what psychologists sometimes call primed. That makes it more easily activated by ongoing perceptions. Well, here you are, you're coming down the trail, and in front of you is in reality a stick, but you don't know that until your brain does the processing of that visual image. So it's just a kind of a jagged shape like this. Your visual cortex is going to be analyzing that. And unfortunately for you, the shape of that stick is a match to your stored memory of a snake. And so here then we have a situation where a stick is going to be activating a snake memory, in part because the expectation of seeing a snake has primed the snake memory. And so now we think we've seen a snake and we alert the amygdala, and now we're all fearful and we jump and scream. But in reality, what was happening here was that our perceptual system was being influenced by an expectation in such a way that a different object, although similar, but a different object was able to activate a snake memory, and we treat it as though we saw a snake, when in fact it was just a stick.